1 minute past 12. You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Mario Makwanda. And our topic for discussion today with Islamic Careline is a body dysmorphic disorder. Body dysmorphic disorder is a mental health condition in which you can't stop thinking about one or more perceived defects or flaws in your appearance. Now, to tell us more is Suhayfa Mahomed. And let us find out exactly what body dysmorphic disorder is and how is it diagnosed, etc. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Suhayfa, and shukran for joining me.
Walaikum salam, and Jazakallah for having me on the show.
Right. I'm sure not many people are familiar with body dysmorphic disorder. Tell us, what is it? What is a body dysmorphic disorder, and how would someone who has it identify that they have this condition?
Okay, well, it's just as you described. So it's basically a body image disorder that's characterized by persistent and intrusive, like a preoccupation with what is usually an imagined or a slight defect in how you look. So, for example, you could think that your nose is too big or that your ears are sticking out, but usually it's it's non-existent, and other people probably don't notice it. So, yeah, but it often causes severe emotional distress and difficulties in daily functioning. And it would include the performance of repetitive behaviors, such as constantly checking how you look in the mirror or even avoiding mirrors altogether, excessively grooming, skin picking, seeking reassurance from other people. Um, but what's also interesting about BDD is that even if you try and change the way you look, it doesn't change the way you perceive yourself. So you will still continue to see yourself as being flawed, as being sometimes ugly. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the causes of BDD? We will call it BDD, body dysmorphic disorder.
Um, okay, well, it's been said that there is a genetic component to it, and those who have a relative who have obsessive compulsive disorder are more
Mm-hmm.
likely to have it. But there's also environmental factors. So usually people who have a history of child abuse, neglect, or some other childhood trauma um, are obviously more susceptible towards it. And also those who have a parent with severe anxiety disorder are, you know, more likely to have it as well.
Mm-hmm. What are the signs and symptoms that present themselves as a body dysmorphic disorder?
Um, okay, so you would have intense recurring thoughts and impulse regarding life experience, features of your body or your face. Um, you would see certain body parts as being disproportionate, inadequate. Um, Oftentimes, you would end up missing school or missing work or other social functions because of the fear that other people are going to notice your food and judge it with. You can experience relationship problems, jealousy, have constantly seeking out improvement from other people and needing reassurance from them. But again, um, getting the reassurance is never usually enough to help you to overcome how you feel about yourself. You could also have symptoms of social phobia, which includes severe blushing, feelings of anxiety, trembling, and more telling around other people. And again, this comes from feeling as though other people are judging you and noticing your flaws, and it comes from that deep feeling of inadequacy that your appearance is, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
to get to appearance is what gives you your sense of self-worth.
Suhaifa, your line is not very clear. It keeps breaking. We will try to reestablish connection. We will try to call you again, uh, um, uh, but we will continue the interview. So please avail yourself.
Okay, not a problem.
So we are talking about body dysmorphic disorder, which is a mental health problem. If you have BDD, you may be so upset about the appearance of your body that it gets in the way of your ability to live normally. Many of us have what we think are flaws in our appearance, but if you have BDD, your reaction to this flaw may become overwhelming. You may find that negative thoughts about your body are hard to control. You may even spend hours each day worrying about how you look. Your thinking can become so negative and persistent, you may think about suicide at times. The cause of body dysmorphic disorder is thought to be a combination of environmental, psychological, and biological factors. Bullying or teasing may create or foster the feelings of inadequacy, shame, and a fear of a ridicule. All right, we do have Suhaifa back on the line. Suhaifa.
Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Well, I'm not sure what is the problem because it seems like once we are live, then it decides to do its own thing. But let's see how best we can move on with the interview. We are talking body dysmorphic disorder. Now, let's talk about the risks. What are the risk factors for body dysmorphic disorder?
So I didn't get that. You not very clear on my side.
Can you try moving around a bit? Perhaps that could maybe
Um,
help. Suhaifa?
okay. Gee, yes, I can hear you now.
All right. So now let's talk about the risk factors. Who are at risk of getting this disorder?
Um, okay, so oftentimes body dysmorphic disorder develops in children from around the age of about 12 or 13. Um, and usually, like I said, it would be somebody who would come from a background of abuse or neglect or trauma. And and it's often those who also suffer from depression, anxiety, and have a very intense fear of how they're being perceived by other people. And, would obviously have that sensitivity towards, um, like I said, perception of other people. So, yeah.
All right. How is it diagnosed?
Okay, so in order for it to get diagnosed, you obviously would need to see a mental health professional. There are sometimes online questionnaires that you can take, but these aren't always accurate. But it can give you an
Mm-hmm.
idea as to whether or not you do have it. But then you will obviously need to verify that by going to, like I said, a mental health professional.
Right. Now, how is BDD different from other disorders like let's take for example anorexia and OCD. How is it how does it differ from those?
Okay. Yeah, that's a interesting question. So basically, with anorexia, it's characterized by this intense fear of gaining weight or appearing overweight, when in fact you are a normal weight or very often underweight. Whereas with body dysmorphic disorder are preoccupied with the appearance, thinking that it looks normal, ugly, deformed. It's usually focused on other body parts, for example, your nose or mouth or the size of your ears, but sometimes it does also extend feeling overweight as well. But one of the similarities between anorexia and body dysmorphia disorder is that they are both body image disturbances. So you actually look at somewhere and we see something that is exaggerated or not really the way other people perceive you to be. And with anorexia, normally you would it's characterized by that you how much you eat, you watch your calorie intake, you make a lot into gain weight. So it's more like order. The ways that you cope with it and you deal with it aren't always characterized by how much you eat. It's normally about putting on more makeup or checking certain weight or constantly checking the mirror. So yeah, that would be.
All right, Suhayfa, I'm sorry we're going to have to cut the interview due to the line being unclear, unfortunately. I do apologize for that. It is not coming clear on our side, making it difficult for us to have a proper conversation on this topic. But shukran so much for your time once again. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay.
All right, so that was Suhayfa Mahomed on the line from Islamic Care Line. We're struggling to hear her because of the poor line, because of the poor connection. But when we come back from the break, we will have a talk on this topic, body dysmorphic disorder, so that we can get better understanding. Please stay with us.